Hello world and welcome to Elevated Intuition. Today we're doing a pick a card reading. Actually, you're picking a number, card, deck, object. You're using your intuition to do that. So we're doing a pick a card reading for your next week. The energy of your next week, kind of what to expect, what is shifting, what is changing, what you can do. Most of it is on you, sorry. Most of it, but that's what you can control, right? You control the controllables, control yourself. Even then it's hard, I know. So you use your intuition to pick the card. I have the timestamps down below. So for instance, you pick number 2, you go down to the description, you click on the timestamp next to number 2, it takes you directly to that reading, and then I use my intuition to read the cards for you. So this is the Mystical Medleys deck for group number 1, and the object that goes with that is this Agate Egg. So Mystical Medleys and Agate Egg, they're all going to be eggs. Group number 2, this is Golden Art Nouveau. Where this is vintage cartoons, Golden Art Nouveau is a more traditional deck, very classic, with gold embossing. And the object that goes with Golden Art Nouveau is this Tigereye Egg. Whoops. And then for group number 3, I'll show you that because it's blue and pretty and then it's got gold on it. This is 5 Cent Tarot. It's got animals and insects in this deck, and it's kind of vintagey inspired as well. The object that goes with this is it's a Sodalite egg, and it kind of looks like the earth. So if you're still not sure which group to pick, I am going to do a breathing exercise. I invite you to do that with me, where we close our eyes, we take a deep breath in, and release out any tension. We're going to set the intention that you get the messages that you need to receive. That's very important. Not that you want to receive, that you need to receive. Go ahead and take another deep breath in and release. Now open your eyes, and wherever your eyes are drawn, that is the group for you. Thanks so much for being here, and I will see you at your reading. Hello, group 1. So this is the Agate Egg. I don't know, which side do you like better? Maybe we'll show both. Then the number 1, and then we have our Mystical Medleys deck, which we will get to in a moment. So this week's energy, this will be like our overall energy of the week. Then we'll get some more specifics with the cards, and then I have yet a third deck that we'll pull out for further advice. So for your overall energy of the week, we have soul time. The frequency of soul time asks us to allow the possibility of a new reality to emerge. One that embraces the concept that while the corporal body is mortal, the soul is timeless, limitless, and infinite. And I am one who thinks that while we are in our physical bodies, I do believe in a soul, by the way, and if you don't, maybe this isn't the reading for you. Or maybe this is some things to contemplate for this next week. And really, that is kind of like, even if you do believe in your soul, what does that mean? Like, how are we, how is our soul, or maybe our higher self, different than our physical body? What I feel like it means for you for this next week, I'm really the timeless, limitless, and infinite part. So sometimes when we meet challenges, we're really only viewing it through the perspective of our physical selves, of our physical body, of our current limitations, of our surroundings. We all know, or we have all seen in our lives, people who have overcome great things, like great challenges, great conflicts, and this is a time to remember that even if you don't have the experience, you have the experience. Your soul is limitless and timeless, which means it has had that experience. The other thing with soul time is just interesting, and it's an interesting concept around time, is that, well, I mean, time, we're born, we live, we die, right? It's a linear thing. We have this point A, point B, we're doing this, and we're marching through time at a very linear level. Soul time talks about time as not being linear. In a very real way that you can capture this or think about this is, sometimes we talk about not being able to change our past. However, we can change our perception of the past. We can change how our past controls us. That's a good one, because we all know, in fact, I guarantee that there is something that has occurred in your past, whether it be a relationship, whether it be a belief, whether it be something that you've been through, that is having an impact on you now and is shifting and changing your future. The other thing is when we look at the future and we look at where we are and where we want to be, if we're allowing ourselves to reframe this past, allowing ourselves to forgive it, release it, let it go, and we can look at the future and let this go and just have like a clean slate for our future. So I feel like that is really big for you this week, is to consider things to release. Yeah. And then we have these great new beginnings. Do I have okay. Sometimes things flip out through here, and I thought I saw another one, but it was the Fool. Yes. Yes. I think this will impact your relationships as well with other people, for the better, that you are inspiring other people, you're inspiring your friends, you just looking back and releasing things. 10 of Swords reverse, exactly what we're talking about, releasing any negative energy. Maybe this is around an ex, maybe this is around a roommate, a friend, an ex-boss that you felt like did you wrong. I mean, it's time to let go of that grudge. And maybe it is deserved, maybe it is, but it's time to reframe that. We are at a higher level right now. We are beyond it. We are at a place where we can look at it and figure out what did we learn from it? What part of that was our own fault? Because a lot of times there were things, now that we know with experience, that we could have changed, and that's okay. We're also releasing not only the feelings that we have around that other person, but the feelings that we have around ourselves in that situation. There are a lot of times, there's this walk that I take, and it takes me past one of my first apartments and my roommate, and there are just things that I did to my roommate that were just not leaving. I feel bad now, I left dirty dishes in the sink, or just stupid little things like that, but those types of things bubbled up just because I returned to the scene of the crime, as it were. But I feel bad about that, but I'm a totally different person now, and so is she, and I guarantee you she doesn't remember any of this. So I have to release it and let it go so that it doesn't impact my future, that it's not something that carries with me. These little things like that have a tendency to become burdensome. I wouldn't sit down and have an entire... it would be ridiculous for me, at least in my current thinking, to sit down and have an entire meditation about forgiving myself for leaving dirty dishes in the sink 20 years ago, right? However, that thing, I need to forgive myself at some point, and I do feel like every time I think about maybe this is somebody else. Maybe this is a person that you were impacted with and you ended up with one of their possessions and you just never returned it. We're releasing all those things and letting it go because we've got some really beautiful, bright, new future here. Regarding an ex, I'm sure there are things that you did and said and that they did and they said. And even if it was 100%, like, you have some really anxiety around them cheating on you. You keeping that and holding that, I mean, that yes, it is, you are a wiser person now, and maybe that's an experience you never want to go through again. I get it. But if you are always thinking that somebody is going to cheat on you because you were cheated on in the past, it kind of has a snowball effect of like a self-fulfilling prophecy of you being attracted to people who were, you know, we have to shift that energy. I'm not saying you deserve any of this, but also sometimes you push away good people because you're punishing them for things that somebody else did in the past. This can also be a work situation. I feel like sometimes we have had really toxic bosses, toxic work situations that are just as impactful, if not even more, than a love situation. I mean, yes, your heart isn't in it as much, but I think that they can get away with a lot of super toxic energy that, you know, you would be, because there's that inequity where when you're in a relationship with somebody, it's supposed to be equitable. So anyway, but we're releasing all that. We're letting that go. So anything that impacts you, if you think of an ex-boss or an ex-coworker and you just get really mad about them, it's just time to release that. Maybe you write that down. Maybe you spend some time meditating. You work on it in your heart center, work on it in your head, send them love. We've got to break these attachments that are holding us back. We've got to look at it from a higher perspective. We've got to look at it from the perspective of our soul, from the perspective that we have come here to Classroom Earth to learn new things. And that was an experience that maybe we didn't want to have, but we didn't know we didn't want to have it until we had it, right? But that really clears up this beautiful space. So I spent a lot of time on that negative stuff because it's just old stuff, old clutter that piles up, and it's time to go. We're not going to be an emotional or a thought pack rat anymore. We're releasing it. We're letting it go. We're in a better place now. And what's funny is even though we have more experience now, we can still have this fresh eyes for a new beautiful journey if we release the negative and the toxicness around it. Ace of Cups, the Fool. The Fool kicks the whole thing off in tarot. The tarot cards are numbered. The Fool is the 0 card. The Fool is all about potential. So is the Ace of Cups. And this is all about potential of your heart. This is all about potential of relationships. You could be meeting somebody wonderful this week. You could also just be releasing the negative and toxic energy around a friend, forgiving yourself. Maybe it's a week where you reconnect with somebody that you haven't talked to in a long time. Maybe you borrowed $20 from somebody and you never repaid it, and then you stopped talking to them, you ghosted them because you knew you were in the wrong. It's time to release that. It's time to let it go, because this 2 of Cups is a beautiful connective energy between two people. It is a partnership in a relationship energy. If you're thinking about a relationship this week, this is the best cup card to have. Cup cards, we want cup cards in relationship readings, and this is the best one to have. So, but it occurs after the 10 of Swords. It occurs after this forgiveness. It occurs after we let go of the past. Oh, regeneration, look at that. And fork in the road. Yeah, so it feels like you have come to a decision. There's a fork in the road. Where are you going to go? It's okay to take a moment to pause. I kind of feel like this week is even though there's all this exciting brand new energy to create new stuff, to regenerate, like what happens after almost like a catastrophe even. I'm not sure that this catastrophe is new. I think it might be a catastrophe that you just kind of like walled off, like put into this like ball, and now it's time to like start chipping away at this catastrophe and start releasing that catastrophe so that we can have fresh, beautiful, fertile soil to grow new things, to grow new relationships, to grow brand new possibilities. Anything and everything is possible this week. This is meant to be a light and beautiful week after we release this toxicity. This is about new growth. This is like a springtime type of energy. Now, I'm glad we get fork in the road, because when that happens, you're going to be faced with options. Lovely. We have choices to make. We have options. You might want to consult the map. I love when we were talking about with this soul time about like this linear journey. Well, it's not linear. I feel like the fork in the road is here to tell us like we can make different choices. We can do different things. We can go back on if we realize where we are isn't feeding our soul, it's not regenerating ourselves, it's not a new path for us, we can go back and try again. We can do something different. I also feel like when we're in kind of like this new energy, this regenerative energy, that it is great to take a pause at this fork in the road. The fork in the road often reminds me of the hangman, which if you know anything about tarot, he's just somebody who's hanging upside down from a tree. The original depiction of him is kind of shocking. He's like being crucified, but the thing is you're doing it on your own terms. So, and you're taking a moment, you're taking a pause, you're taking a break, and you're looking at things from a different perspective. When the hangman is upside down, he's kind of taking it from the ground up perspective, looking at the situation from a ground up. When soul time is here, this is kind of looking at it from the perspective of our soul, from the perspective of our higher self. So when we are faced with choices, I really feel like, you have a lot of cups cards here, so get your emotions involved, follow that guidance, follow your intuition on that as well, especially when you don't know where to go. But it is okay to take a moment to pause, to figure out some things about yourself. This fork in the road is kind of a point of where you're like, okay, I'm going to offload this baggage because this can't come with me anymore. It doesn't deserve to come with me. And it's also, I'm going to pick up new stuff along the way. I don't need this other emotional baggage. I'm going to pick up, good emotions. I'm going to pick up positive emotions as I push forward. So that's what I have for you, Group 1, the soul time. Remember your soul, remember your higher self. Maybe ask yourself, what would my higher self do? And, when you're thinking about a situation, when you're thinking about somebody who wronged you, and I'm really feeling in my heart chakra here, send them love. Like, it is hard to be a human. It's hard to be a human. And even when somebody was especially mean to you and you didn't deserve it, I guarantee you there was a time when you were mean to somebody else and they didn't deserve it too. We're all beautifully flawed, so send yourself that love and send that other person that love, and understand like all of the connections that we share just because we're humans on this earth having this human and earthly experience. And you're sending them that love because guess what? You're leveling up. Guess what? You have new beautiful opportunities this week. I would say the opportunities more surround yourself in love situations. It seems like it's more about, picking up some new friends or picking up a new love interest. I usually don't, like these readings that I do weekly, I usually don't do relationship readings in them, but pretty strong cards here that if you're looking for a new relationship, this is the week. But preference you know, you got to let go of the past. We got to stop thinking about our ex so that we can start thinking about our future. So that's what I have for you, Group 1. I hope that you have a fantastic week. Thank you so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 2. This is the Tigereye group, and the number 2, or the Golden Art Nouveau, which we will get to in a moment. So this is a card for our overall energy. Then we'll get some more information from the tarot cards, and then I've got final deck where we'll get final advice going forward for this week. The crown chakra. So focus on your crown chakra this week. Maybe just your chakras in general. Chakras speak about just energy alignment in your body. If you're not familiar with your chakras, your crown chakra is at the very top of your head. It's kind of like the last chakra. It starts down at your seat, and they come up. There's 7 of them, and we've got our root chakra is where it starts with, and it comes up. I'm not going to list them all the chakras, but the different energy means different things. So the different chakras mean different things, and your crown chakra is connected to source, as higher thinking, your higher self. I mean, it's your head, right? So we need to pay attention to your thoughts this week. I feel like, have you ever had an issue or a problem or an obstacle, and you didn't know, maybe it was maybe a decision that you were trying to make, and you didn't know really what you wanted to do, and you were going to, there's that advice to sleep on it. Because I feel like our mind kind of shuts off when we sleep on it, and we allow our subconscious to work on it, or that mystical part of our mind that's connected to something outside of our body. I've been listening to a lot of videos on songs, the creation of different songs, and a lot of times it's just that people are like, I don't even know where this came from. It just almost came through me. It came through from another dimension, from another realm, from another source. Like they tapped into. And some of these songs, when you listen to, like Stairway to Heaven, for instance, by Led Zeppelin, classic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, your homework this next week is to listen to that song. But listen to it, the one where Ann and Nancy Wilson do it for Led Zeppelin. Anyway, that's your homework. But like the creation of something like that is, they just started putting things together and started working together, and it almost was like it came from another worldly source. They were definitely in tune and open up with their crown chakras, whether they knew it or not. The frequency of the crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. We'll come back to that. I want to show you this. This is the sacred geometry activations. The violet is the color of the crown chakra. It's the higher self, that higher being, that connection with spirit. And then this is the flower of life, which is 13 concentric circles that have a dot in the middle, and they connect everything, and they make this just beautiful pattern, and it's possible through connection. Okay, and it's also even if you feel like you're like this dot way over here on the edge of maybe your family, you've been considered maybe the black sheep of your family, or you feel like you're on the outside looking in on this crazy, whatever this is, this crazy movie that we call reality. We're all connected. 7 degrees of separation here, or that kind of reminds me of Kevin Bacon. Like, you could name an actor, and then within 7 movies, connect it to Kevin Bacon. Anyway, this transmute negative energy into light. So there was a study with bunnies, and they were doing this study feeding, it was about cholesterol, feeding them high cholesterol foods, because they were doing this study on cholesterol. Well, this one group of bunnies, even though they received the high cholesterol foods, they didn't seem to have an effect on them. And they couldn't figure out why until the researcher who was responsible for those bunnies said, well, because they're like, well, how are these bunnies different from these bunnies? Well, the researcher responsible for those bunnies, they took the bunnies out, they played with them, they showed them love, they pet them. So when you are in a space of love, you can transform and transmute things that are bad for you into good things. Your body does this all the time, actually. When you feel good, so many people, their bodies just handle cancer cells, or their bodies, people who ingest things and you're like, how, somebody who smoked for 80 freaking years and their body is transmuting that because they don't have this very negative energy or this negative thing surrounding it. So your challenge this week is to figure out how to transmute, because you are a co-creator in the universe. You are more powerful than you know. Your body is more powerful than you know. And it's time to take this negative energy and turn it into light. I feel like a lot of people in this group might also be empathic or clairsentient. Clairsentient is one of those things you should check into it. Like if you have these aches and pains in your body and you can't figure out where they came from, and you're like, wow, that's really weird. My friend has a sore shoulder and now I do. I realized I was connecting with my grandfather. He had cancer in his sinuses. And I didn't develop cancer, but I started having issues with my sinuses. And I didn't realize it until, I focused on that energy. I'm like, what is going on here? Why is this an issue for me? It should not be an issue for me. And you just transmute that negative energy. And as soon as I put attention to it, I put light to it, it's gone. I don't have issues anymore. And it was a very real physical pain for me that now is just completely gone. And it's crazy. This has been documented. This happened. You can do this. It happens all the time. Now, somebody like Dr. Joe Dispenza, who documents these things scientifically, is better equipped to explain all of that than I am. So if there's an illness or something that you are looking at walking away from and letting go, I highly suggest checking into Dr. Joe Dispenza. He has a lot of people that are able to cure things with the power of their mind. And I kind of feel like that's why your crown chakra is here. Now, you can start small with small things, but it's amazing. We have the Two of Swords, King of Pentacles, the Empress, and the Eight of Cups. Okay, so I'm going to start with these two out here because we've got the Two of Swords is about a choice. You're sitting at a crossroads. And a lot of times, this is more of like an Eight of Swords type of energy, but I see it a little bit in the Two of Swords. At least in the Two of Swords, you kind of figure that there is a choice that you can make. There is something that you can do that is going to affect your future, that is going to allow you to live the life that you want to live, to allow you, these two guys here, to manifest that prosperity, that health, that wealth. The King of Pentacles is about your body. It is about your money. It is about the physical. And the Empress is about living your best life, manifesting the best version of yourself, and just doing it in a very loving way. Okay, so I just want to point out that these two are here because this is huge potential for you. Okay, and the Two of Swords is how many times, and I know you can point this out with a friend or a family member, but when it's occurring to yourself, you're usually blind to it. But when you see your friend and you're like, why the heck do they keep dating those same people that are bad for them? I know they're bad for them. They know deep down, maybe in their intuition, that they're blocking off that this person is bad for them. Everybody around them knows this is going to end badly. Why do they keep doing that? Well, I'm sure that there is a subject like that your friends are looking at around you that are like, why does this person keep doing this? Why do they keep making that choice? Why do they keep doing that thing? Why do they keep holding themselves back? And the Two of Swords is just right at that point where we make a new decision, because we're starting to shift our energy, and then we're going to walk away from the bad things, because maybe the bad things aren't that bad, and the bad things, we can deal with them, but it's not allowing us to live our best life. It's not allowing us to live our dreams. It's not allowing us to push forward and be the, manifest our wealth. It's not allowing us to really live in prosperity. It's not exactly what we want. It's good. It's not, or maybe it's not great, but it's something. And that's why we've been hanging out with it for so long. And this week, I'm sorry, because sometimes this transition between walking away from what is just not cutting it anymore and going out to find your dreams and to fulfill your wishes, sometimes that transition isn't the most pleasant, and we know that, which is why we sit here and pretend like we have no options. When we know we have options, it's just it's going to take a little bit of work maybe, or we've never done it before, so we're not sure how it's going to come out. I really feel like the King of Pentacles is here and the Empress is here to be like, to cheer you on, to be like, you can have the body of your dreams. You can have, the money that you want to have. You can manifest it. But this king did not end up on this throne without going through each of those steps, without going through those shifts, without meeting adversity, without being uncomfortable, without learning new things. And the crown chakra and the Empress is here just kind of like a cheerleader. I see her like cheering you on, loving you, and I feel like you need to love yourself. So this crossroads, these choices that you're making, you need to get your heart and your head in line. Sometimes your heart makes really stupid decisions. Sometimes your head makes decisions that your heart is going to be upset with. You need to see, she's got this cross here, and then swords are about logic. They're about information, and she's kind of like what her body language is. She's not observing that. She's not observing the logic that's around her. She needs to take this blindfold off. She needs to get her heart and her head in the right spot, and she needs to be brave enough to take that step forward towards her future. And the Empress and the King of Pentacles are here to say it is possible. Let's do this. We get time to go. Okay, and we'll take both of those. A change in the wind is very cool too. So a time to go. It's time. It's time to make that decision. It's time to make that path. Use your higher self. Use that connection with your higher self. And serendipity, you're making your own luck, and a change is in the wind. So if you have been that person who has not been living their dreams, who's not been, completely happy with the way that things or their life is going, just remember, let's embrace this co-creative energy. Let's embrace that crown chakra. Let's allow instead of block. Let's allow our crown chakra energy. Let's allow our connection with the universe. Let's allow our connection with these other beings who are also, we're all working for our best selves. And then the serendipity, I love that we've got this 4-leaf clover. we've got this wind here, this change in the wind. Yeah, it's just kind of like, there's that saying of like, when you step, God steps with you. So even though you feel like your journey is just you alone, when you're making that step, like the universe, the power of the universe and the power of creation is really behind you. And then you deciding to change is what makes the wind come in and really push that change. And then you're able to, create your own luck. That's what it is. That's what we have. So very beautiful. And it all starts with embracing that crown chakra. Really, I feel like aligning those chakras, going through them and aligning your energy. Because, I think sometimes when we're in this Two of Swords energy, we're not aligned. Something's off. Things aren't balanced. It's not right. And the Eight of Cups is saying it's not right either. And it's so not right that I'm done with this situation and I'm moving forward. And as soon as you step forward, this is like, because a lot of times we sit in this indecision and we're like, we never feel like things can change. But all we're doing is sitting here. You got to get up. You got to make that decision. You got to move. You got to start doing things, putting it forward, putting your intentions out there, being that co-creator of the universe. So that's what I have for you, Group 2. I hope that you have a fantastic week. Thanks so much for being here with me, and I will see you in the next reading. Hello, Group 3. This is the Sodalite egg, the earth egg. I thought it looked like the earth. That's why I got it. And my husband was with me and we laughed way too hard about, this is for the oval earthers. So yeah. Anyway, I hope that didn't turn you off from this group. We are going to use these cards. This is the 5-cent tarot, but first the overall energy. This is the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle. We're going to get an overall energy with this, more information with the tarot, and then I have a third deck that we will be using for final advice. So conception, the frequency of conception invites us to bring our consciousness to our origin, the place where everything in creation begins. It helps us to remember the infinite potential and possibilities of this space and what we can manifest through our focused awareness and intention. I feel like there's a similar theme running through all of the groups actually, about a recognition of our connection with the universe, our recognition of our connection with our planet, our recognition with our connection with other people, and then also like just really how special we are and how capable we are. And you might need to meditate on that for a while. If you are not focused on your intentions, if you are not focused on your awareness, okay, let's say for a moment that we believe that we are able to manifest our dreams. If you are not putting intentional dreams out there, what are you manifesting? I guarantee you we can all look at somebody who is really not doing well, unfortunately. But they will say something and like that thing comes true, that negative thing. It works the other way too. So you just have to be careful about what you say and what you speak into existence. These circles are kind of meant to be, I don't know, almost like that primordial ooze is what they look like to me, or the kind of like gassiness in the beginning of everything, before things started forming and taking shape, until things started to focus and create the earth, create the planets, creates all of creation. So I also feel like there's a very practical thing here with this conception of kind of going back to basics. If something isn't working for you, we need to cut out all the, I don't want to say fancy stuff, but cut some things out. Cut back. Go back. Where's our foundation? Where is the beginning of this? And investigate and pull it back and figure out, and companies do this too, where they have gotten like so kind of overgrown almost, and they just have to cut their product line, and you'll see that, and kind of get back to basics, get back to what they're known for and what they're supposed to be doing. But that works for you on an individual. What are you known for? What are you supposed to be doing? What do you want to be known for, really, is what you need to ask. And then we start creating that thing. So and do it consciously instead of subconsciously. We're setting intentions instead of, reacting to what's going on here. We get the Hangman, we get the Ten of Cups. I love it. I love the Hanged Man energy. We get the Three of Cups. I love the Three. Wow. A lot of this. So you're not supposed to do this alone either. You're supposed to be connecting with other people. Okay, I get that you may not want to walk up to some random people and say, hey, do you want to set positive intentions with me because we're co-creators in the universe and I want to create with you? Actually, we should try that and see how it goes. But other people are meant to be inspiring for you. They're meant to have, they're meant to be there for you to focus on and have fun with. There's supposed to be a lot of fun and joy in this. And I'm actually feeling a lot of fun and joy in this. Family, friends, and then co-workers, actually. This is supposed to be fun for everything. If it's not fun, we need to figure out why. And we've got the Hanged Man. So the Hanged Man is the only major arcana card here. Major arcanas represent major energies that are probably bigger than the next week. They're very big cards. I would say Conception is kind of a big card as well. We need to take a look at, we need to stop. We need to pause. If you don't know how to go back to the beginning, if you don't know how to, if things are kind of feeling a little out of control, the first thing we need to do is stop. We need to stop doing what we're doing, and we need to think about it and take a moment. Bats actually sleep upside down, so this bat is sleeping. Usually the Hangman is somebody who is in a position they're not normally in that position. And I will say there is a technique where it's a psychological technique where if you are feeling out of control, if you lay on your bed with your head like laying off the bed, it's a way to calm yourself down. So I find that interesting as well. So take a moment, take a pause, take a break. We are going to look at our situation. We're going to look at our week. We're going to look at what's going on. We're going to figure out how we're going to manifest our best selves, how we're going to manifest the best week, how we're going to put intentions into this week so that we are the ones creating this beautiful week instead of reacting to all of the other ridiculous chaos that's going on. And you know what? If you are a student of the media, you can see where, if you believe that you're somebody who can co-create your own future, you create it. You and everybody else around you creates our future, right? And you're somebody who is a student of the media, then you can start to see why certain things are emphasized and other things are not. I'm not saying that people are making things up or making news up, but I am saying that it is a very conscious decision, the types of things and the types of images that they show. It's meant to keep us in a state, not this state, not this relaxed state, not this thoughtful state, not this almost guarded state as well. You're not allowing other people to influence you. Not yet. We want to, but We're very consciously figuring out who those people are that we're allowing into our lives, we're allowing to influence us. And then us influence them. There are people that I think probably would benefit from you being your best self. And then they, it's almost like a chain reaction, almost like this radiation of love, that you are your best self. And I'm saying that because we've got the 10 of Cups and the 3 of Cups here. Cups cards, all about love, all about emotions, all about energy. But these are very, very positive ones. Family, bliss, harmony, well-being. That is what happens when you release the toxicity and you go back to the beginning and like, you know what, we're not supposed to be living like this. I'm not supposed to be this anxiety-ridden ape that works for 24 hours a day and has nothing to show for it. That's not what my existence is supposed to be. No matter what people tell me, that's what it's supposed to be. And you'll see this all the time in a very real way. For instance, when women are like, hey, wait a second, we're not supposed to be second-class citizens. The civil rights movement, hey, wait a minute, we're supposed to have the same rights as everybody else. It's this moment when we're like, hey, wait a minute, this isn't going the way that it should. Even though all of those, the powers that be, were like pushing it that way, and there was media and propaganda to keep it that way. We have to break the cycle, we have to push it out, we have to create what we want to see, and we have to be the person that we want to see in the universe. I know, this is a lot. This is a lot for 1 week, but look at how beautiful it is with the 10 of Cups, because it's not only beautiful harmony, family, it's for your family too, this family bliss. And then friendship and collaboration, family bliss, friendship, collaboration. Friendship, you start finding that community, the people who are like, yeah, I just want to live in harmony and I want to be happy, and I'm sick of the politics and the gossip and the things that I'm supposed to be angry and reactive to that are not that I have no control over. I think there's an amount of, like, going back to this conception, controlling the controllables. There are certain, I know people who are intentionally doing things that they know they would love to do in their lives that would make them happy because of what's happening in the media. And I find that extremely sad. And this is kind of like a refocus of that, because Mother Teresa said, if you want to change the world, go home and love your family. So it very singularly starts with you, and it has a beautiful, massive wave for everybody. And not one person can change the world, no, but we can do it together. I know, there's a lot of pressure now, you're changing the world. But it's really easy. It's a really easy thing for you to do. All you have to do is go home and love your family. All you have to do is be the best version of yourself. All you have to do is stop reacting to things and start being proactive and start being exactly what you want to see in the world. And that's going to have the effect on people in your community. It's going to have the effect on people that you work with. This is working together. This is being in part of a team. This is doing a very conscious effort, just with your vibration and your love and harmony, and just living your best life, interacting. I'm laughing because it's like an unfinished symphony, a never-ending story. Yeah, this keeps going on. Is it going to be easy every day? No. Some days we're going to be like, world peace hasn't happened yet. No, it's a continuation thing, but it's pushing, it's shifting. Love is occurring, and and unfinished symphony. I also feel like there might be a huge component here in music. I feel like when you are having a particularly rough or hard day, that music can help you through it, that your friends, your family, your coworkers can help you through this. And it's just, yeah, all these cards, there's a lot of harmony in this. When we start focusing on ourselves, when we start focusing on our own intentions, and we start focusing on the, picking up our job. We're not blaming others anymore. And you know this. You can get on media right now and you can find things that you are personally being blamed for that you're like, what? That person who is pointing fingers, their life would be infinitely better if they started taking more responsibility for themselves. And that doesn't mean you have to be perfect. That just means that you need to reframe your intentions. You need to focus your awareness on what you want instead of notice how those people, their lives never get better because they keep focusing on what they don't want or what they say they don't want. They're in this loop of negativity. Yeah, we're jumping out of that loop of negativity this next week and making our life infinitely better. So, no pressure. That's what I have for you, group 3. I hope that you have an amazing week, and I will see you in the next reading.